that will let us know. Is Ken here? Josh? Jenny? Omar, I know is here.
Yes, I'm here.
Aaron is running late. Stephanie, I see you there as well.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Adam? Kristen?
Here.
And then Arhan and Sarah. So, Audrey, I feel like that's 4 out of all of us. We do not have quorums. We cannot yet.
Right, so we could do informational items, we can't do action items.
Sure. Let's just give a couple more minutes because I feel like the budget and the services update and the social equity update, it'd be beneficial to have the whole board.
Okay.
So we'll give another 2 to 3 minutes. Sorry, everyone. Let's just wait in awkward silence.
No problem.
I know Adam and Aaron were running late. I didn't hear from Ken or Josh.
Perna, that's helpful. I say I didn't realize Adam was also running late. So as much as I'd like the whole board to be there for the informational items, why don't we start with that? And then if no one has joined the meeting when that's finished, we might have to consider ending because we cannot do anything without quorum. Audrey, how does that sound to you?
Yep, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
So I will start with the 2022 budget. So we've initially been working on the new base budget, and that was pretty much holding steady from 2021. There were several minor adjustments, but nothing that really is significant. So what's happening with 2022 is we're now working on the decision packs that really are based on trying to move us forward for the strategic plan. So looking at how are we going to provide services? What are the things that are really important? So things like the 3 frozen positions that for 2022, how does that fit in? There will be, no chance of getting all 3 of them back in 2022. So how are we going to stagger them? How are we going to work with the city to get those positions back? And then looking at things like training and other kinds of things as we go forward, with an understanding that the next few years, or next couple of years in particular, because of the decrease in revenue, will be difficult years. So, we're doing what we can to position the library in the best way possible, but also working with the reality of the current budget.
Thank you, Audrey.
And I do see Ken is on. So
Oh,
we do now have quorum.
okay.
Are there any questions about the budget?
I had a question about the community locker project that you mentioned within the budget informational item. Where are these lockers going to be?
So that is something we would work on. They would be out in the community. So in all, really looking to put one in every ward within the city so that people have them relatively, that everyone would have one relatively close. The actual locations haven't been determined yet. In the past, this is before most of you, we had attempted to get a grant to do this, to do something very similar to what we're talking about here. And we actually partnered with some local grocery stores. So we're trying, so I don't know if that is exactly what would happen if that was funded, but we would certainly be looking for community partners for welcoming places that everybody, where everybody can go.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yep.
So now that we have quorum, I'm going to go back to the top. And we probably are ready to record, and I will read the special note, and then we can call the meeting to order. So, this meeting shall be conducted pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D-021, and members will appear electronically. All votes shall be taken by roll call, and each member of the board will be able to hear each other. No public comment shall be taken at this meeting, and public access will be restricted to comply with state health guidance during the pandemic. Comments can be sent to pgurung@rplmn.org and will be shared with the board. Citizens can view a live stream of the board meeting on the library's YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/users/roch pub library. And a recording will be available after the meeting on the city's website. So I will take roll call, starting with Ken.
I'm finally here.
Perfect, thank you. Antonia, I am here. Josh. Jenny.
I'm here.
Hi, Jenny. Omar.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Erin. Stephanie.
Here.
Adam. Chris. Kristen.
Oh, sorry, here. I didn't hear it at first. Sorry,
Oh,
here.
I know you're here. Arhan. And Sarah. Okay, so with that, I will now call the meeting to order. And the first item is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Do we have a second?
This is Kristen, second.
Thank you, Kristen. Perfect. So the agenda is approved. Next, we have the consensus agenda. Before I move into a motion, are there any questions? All right. So do we have a motion to approve the consensus agenda?
This
Anyone?
is Kristen. I move to approve.
Thank you, Kristen. Do we have a second?
Second, Brown.
Thank you, Ken. Perfect.
And Antonia,
Yes.
remember to take the vote.
Yes. Yes, of course. Thank you, Audrey. I feel like I skip over that every time. So for the approval of this agenda, I will run through our I'll run through everyone quickly. Yay or nay? Ken?
Aye.
Kristen?
Yay.
Stephanie?
Yay.
Omar?
Yeah.
Jenny?
Yay.
Antonia? Yay. Is there anyone else who has shown up since that motion was approved?
Not that I see.
Okay, perfect. Consensus agenda. I will start with Ken,
Aye.
Jenny,
Aye.
Kristen,
Aye.
Omar,
Aye.
Stephanie,
Aye.
and myself, Antonia, I. So those two officially are approved, and we can move on to President's business, starting with the foundation report.
Good afternoon, it's Brenda. We're just working on getting new signers with our new officers, items like that, and we're preparing for Give MN. They're doing another spring campaign. It's going to be May 1st through May 11th. We are creating a team with the Rochester Public Library Foundation Board. So they'll each have a page. Hopefully that means Antonia and Adam will have a page. And hopefully they'll post on their social media, and we'll get some great donations like we did last year this spring. That's the highlights of what we're working on right now.
No pressure, Brenda. No pressure.
Oh, you just have to post. That doesn't mean you don't have to go out and solicit eyeball to eyeball, so.
I know the posting was the pressure I was referencing.
Oh, well, if you need help posting, let me know.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Brenda and the foundation? All right, then we can move on to the Friends report. Do we have a Friends report for today? Audrey.
This is Audrey. I can, one thing that they are working on is getting the inventory of the Friends bookstore online. And so they are pretty much through that project, which will allow them to continue to do more sales with the Friends bookstore still being closed. So they've been working really hard on that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Audrey. Next we have the Selco report, but I'm assuming we do not have a Selco report today.
Yeah, I attended the Selco Advisory Committee meeting, and a lot of it was around budget, which was recommended by the library directors. And they also had some conversation about the technology fees that don't impact us, but there was a good conversation about that. Basically skipping 2020 because it kind of threw everybody's numbers were so off compared to other years, and those numbers affect the budget. So or affect the formula. So that conversation, what are the two primary things that were discussed at that meeting?
Okay, thank you, Audrey. Any questions for Audrey before we move on to the policy committee? Okay, and Audrey, I'm going to skip over the youth representative report, as last time I checked, our two youth reps are not present today.
That sounds good. Yep.
Moving on to the policy committee update.
And I'm going to turn this over to Heather.
All right. Hi, everybody. Oh, there's the screen. Could you please put up the graphic? Yes, thank you. So we wanted to start by sharing our policy review, which this whole project started, as you'll remember, as part of the equity plan to review all the policies with an equity lens in 2 years. So it's also perfect timing with a new strategic plan that came out in January 2020. So you'll see that equity is at the heart of our policy review cycle. So the Welcoming Committee staff are partnering with Library Board Policy Committee on this work. We have meetings with the entire committee as needed. We had a really great meeting last month, and weekly meetings with Kristen to review the work. And I have to say that the team really appreciates Kristen dedicating so much time to this work. Her input has been just wonderful. So each policy review starts in the pink section with kind of a brainstorm about, oh, does someone have a question?
Okay.
Audrey, do you mind just muting anyone that's not Heather right now?
I will try. Thank you. Yep.
Thanks.
So we brainstorm about what we need the policy to achieve in today's library. Then we do some internal research about how the policy is currently being used and also its history. Where did the policy come from? And then we do external research to see trends in library services. And at this point, then the Welcoming Committee and Kristen, as a representative from the Policy Committee, can prepare a new draft of the policy. This draft is taken through the Welcoming Committee's equity tools, which include looking, is this in line with our new vision and mission statements? Is this in line with our core values? Is it in line with our inclusivity and anti-racism statement? We talk about who would be harmed or burdened by the policy. We also talk about who might be benefited more than others by the policy. And then we talk about whether it builds a bridge between the library and the community. Then in the orange step, step 2, that draft goes to library staff. So it starts with the administrative team, and they review it, and then it goes through a staff peer review, which really involves just the people who might work with that policy regularly. And then we create a second draft based on the input from library staff, which goes back to the Policy Committee and the Welcoming Committee. And it's edited at that point for readability and placed in our new template that Nicole designed for us. And then it goes to the city attorney for review. Then that final draft is brought back to the board by the Policy Committee. And then we're on to step 4, where it's back in the hands of library staff for training, adding to the onboarding and ongoing training documents, and then putting up on our website. We hope on the new website to really have all of the policies available for anyone to look at. And because there's so many steps involved in this work, we developed this diagram to kind of make the process a little more clear. Does anyone have any questions about the review cycle?
I don't have any questions, Heather, but I'm really glad you guys are doing this work. I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, thank you. It is really challenging work, but it's really wonderful to do. We're grateful to have a part in it. So thank you for.
So everyone's sure, no questions for Heather before we move on. Okay.
So did you want me to take this part, or Jenny?
So the Policy Committee did review, oh, Jenny, go ahead.
So I'm not entirely sure what you want me to say about it, but the healthy vending machine policy, we reviewed this at our last committee meeting, the Policy Committee meeting, and we thought this was a policy that we were thinking we could obsolete, because a lot of these items, have changed since COVID. A lot of the procedures and the processes that are being done in the library we don't have vending machines as much. And the other thing I think was that a lot of these items were going to be addressed in the Welcoming Committee, or the Welcoming team, is that right?
Jenny, actually the healthy vending machine policy was part of a grant that we received in 2011 that has since it's been done and gone and signed off on, so it really isn't active anymore.
Okay.
I think you were thinking of the things that we were going to put in the customer service manual.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think you are definitely more aware of exactly what is we walked through it, and we thought that the reasons that were brought forth for obsoleting this policy made sense. I just that was 2-3 weeks ago, and I don't remember.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to explain it or not.
So do we need like a motion to approve the obsolescence of this?
Yes, we would.
Okay, so then I would move to obsolete that policy.
Second, Brown.
Am I the one that takes the vote? Or does somebody else need to take the vote?
Antonia does.
Antonia calls the roll.
And Antonia,
muted.
you're muted. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Literally, I got a call from the future principal of my son's school like 10 seconds ago. That just a call and tell me I was in a meeting, so I missed the last sentence. Audrey?
There was there's a motion and a second on the table to obsolete this policy, and you need to call roll call.
One, yes.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So did we get a motion and a second?
We did.
We did.
So I will start with Ken.
Aye.
Aaron.
Aye.
Omar.
Got it. Yep.
Jenny.
Aye.
Kristen.
Aye.
And Antonia, myself. I. Have I missed anyone? Oh, Stephanie.
Aye.
Is there anyone else who has joined the meeting since that conversation began? Nope. So the motion passes, and that is no longer a policy. Although, I mean, do we have other initiatives around, like, surrounding health in the works, or no?
At this time, there is now a City of Rochester Wellness Committee that's working on wellness initiatives for the entire city staff.
Got you. Thank you. All right, and Audrey, this one is you with regard to the home rule charter. So let's move on from the policy committee to new business. Do we have any new business to discuss?
We do not.
Perfect. So now we can move on to old business, starting with the home rule charter.
So as we've been discussing over the last few months, or as we did where we left it off, Jason is here to help us in this conversation. The Charter Commission has asked us to make any notations where there are discrepancies from current practice to what the charter actually says. And Antonia, Jason, and I took a look at this. I think things like reading rooms seemed very antiquated. And so we updated some language there. Changed the fact that there someday may be more than one library. So we included public library system rather than singular. We did update the language to incorporate the fact that by contract, the county provides two places on the seats on the board, and so updated that language. I think we still need to talk about the whole wording with the foundation. Jason doesn't recommend that we do that, and I just want to make sure that we don't put the foundation at a disadvantage. Because we have worked with city finance to move money that had been at the city over to the foundation for them to manage. And so those are some examples of things that we updated in this policy or in the charter. And so Jason, so this would go back to the Charter Commission for their meeting next month? Is that's, can you talk us through what this process is?
Sure. The Charter Commission voted, as you know, to amend the charter language regarding the library board and the park board that went to city council, where they shot it down. At the meeting after that city council meeting, the charter board voted to ask the park board and library board to come up with some proposed changes they would like to see that get rid of some of the antiquated language and reflect how the library is actually run, just basically cleaning it up, I guess would be the phrase I would use. So that's where we're at today. So if this board were to approve certain changes as Audrey's proposed. It would then go back to the Charter Commission, who would then take action on it and send it back to the City Council. And for it to actually be changed, the City Council would have to unanimously vote on it.
Are there any questions from the board members? Hello?
Hear you, Antonia. No questions here. This is Erin.
Okay, I couldn't tell if the silence was just no questions or if it was just off connection. Okay.
So I do have something for Jason to weigh in on. With the language with the foundation, if that language is taken out, could then the city prevent money from going to the foundation?
No. I guess could the city prevent it? I mean, in theory, they could, regardless of the language in the charter. I guess my point in removing that language was just in case there wasn't a foundation, or so it doesn't necessarily have to, you don't always have to have that, or if it changes its name or what have you, then, you know, changing the charter is not an easy thing. So frankly, if you wanted to keep that language in there, I wouldn't necessarily lose any sleep over it. My suggestion was just to remove it, so just knowing how hard it is to change the charter, and just in case they change their name, or you know, you don't have a foundation at some point, what have you. So I don't view it as a big deal.
Since that's an or situation, it probably doesn't hurt anything.
No, I don't think it hurts anything, other than, like I said, just being mindful of what things might look like in 20 years if you have to go and change things again. It's just kind of a pain. But yeah, I don't think there's any substantial legal reason to add it or remove it. And I mean, if it reflects the reality of how you're doing business now, I guess you could keep it in there. The other thing is I mean, that seems more like a policy level decision, not something to put in a charter. I mean, that would be something that, you know, you can have in a library policy on how you handle that. You don't necessarily need to have it in charter that forces you to do it that way. It'd give you some more flexibility.
I mean, I have to say my gut is to leave it in, since that's current practice. And as long as it has the or in there, it gives us an option.
Audrey, do you feel that we might need a little bit more conversation and approve this at the next meeting? Because I did see that Brenda asked for a copy of it so that she can review. Do we want to be certain about the implications for the foundation before calling for a vote?
Well, I think having it in there gives, I would think would give more reassurance to the foundation. My worry is if we wait, we'll have to wait until July.
Okay. I mean, I'm comfortable with the charter, but I just realized with Brenda's comment that he hadn't had an opportunity to review in anticipation of this, and I just want to make sure that she's able to share any comments or concerns if there are any. Can I actually ask you, Brenda, for a comment if you're still on the call?
Yeah, I had to step off because Adam, our president, had called me on a matter, and I came back and I saw this. So I really haven't had a chance to look at this. I mean, I I trust Audrey, but we haven't had a chance to review this, and it would be nice for at least our president and vice president well, Aaron has had a chance to review it, so.
So basically, right now, it's just a quick risk assessment. What is riskier, approving it now without the foundation having a chance to review and weigh in, or us waiting till July? And I will say, Brenda, I also was part of the group reviewing this and looking at some of the changes, and I felt really comfortable with it. But I really would like your opinions, you and Audrey, on how we really could proceed, and any other board member for that matter.
I don't want to hold you all up, but I know that when I was initially reviewing what the Charter Commission wanted to change, it had given me pause, because it seemed like, you know, anything that was donated could be kind of questioned by the city. Again, it's not like we would get some sort of large land or building donation and we wouldn't run it by the library board and the city, so.
Okay. Is there any, you know what, I guess, Audrey and Brenda, I think I will push this to a vote, and then the library board members can let me know if they'd rather table this till July. Is that a good compromise?
Or could we, Jason, can we approve it contingent on the review of the foundation president?
That would also work.
Yeah, you could do that.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So I will then say that's what we'll do. Can I get a motion for us to approve this contingent on weigh-in from the foundation?
So moved, Ken.
Thank you very much, Ken. Do we have a second?
This is Erin, I second.
Thank you very much, Erin. We'll now do vote via roll call. So Erin?
Aye.
Ken?
Aye.
Jenny?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Omar? Did we lose Omar? I do not see him right now, so I think we lost.
He said he had to step off for a meeting with the mayor at 5.
Got you. Okay. So then Anthony and myself, aye. So the motion is approved contingent on foundation feedback. So we'll have an update at the next meeting. Thank you. So next we move on to, well, the director's informational items, which we covered at the beginning of the meeting, but I think Audrey, it'd be worth a quick recap for the board members that were present.
Okay, so we're working on the 2022 budget. The thing that I didn't mention earlier is that the city is moving to a 2-year budget. So we are trying to plan out 2 years for those decision packs that we have to turn in. And so some of the things we're talking about are getting the frozen positions unfrozen, and looking at things like the training budget, things like that. So we're continuing to work on that based on the library strategic plan and the and the action plans that were reviewed last month. We did, as a side note, we have turned in a grant for a social worker that has been on our action plan. And so we will let you know. We're partnering. This was a grant very similar to what we submitted, very similar to what we submitted to the Rochester Area Foundation. So we're looking to partner with Family Service Rochester, the county, Parks and Rec, and the library, in making more resources available as in a social worker. So those are some highlights. And again, a reminder that because of COVID, the city revenues are significantly down. And so that will obviously have an impact. Not only, it had an impact in 20, 21, 22, and for the foreseeable future as we bounce back from COVID. working on that American Rescue Plan. And the city council will be having conversations about how that money will be spent. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Audrey. We can move on to the library services update.
So Library Express continues to go very well. People are happy to be back. And as I mentioned here, we've hit capacity just a couple of times, but it has been, but it's been very well received, very well received. So, and a reminder, we keep the walk-up continues to be an option 7 days a week. And a note that you saw that on the holds. And the call center continues. We can always tell what's happening in the community. The city's risk dial remains at high. We're actually edging towards severe. At the meeting I was at today, it's not clear that we will get back to severe, but we're still not in a great place in the community. And that's true across the state. We have but we're doing contingency planning in case we do get back into severe. And we've been, because so many of the staff are vaccinated, we will not close if we get back to severe because we still feel we can provide services safely. So that continues to be a conversation we have as we look at the city's risk dial. And the call center, it reflects what's happening in the community.
Audrey, I did have a question. I was wondering if we've been having any issues with mask adherence, or is that not an issue that we've been dealing with since?
That has really not been a big issue. We have masks at the door, and if someone forgets, we hand them one, and it's really has not been a big issue for us.
Awesome.
And Perna is going to give us an update on the water leak repairs.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we are getting close to completion on some of the repair work for the water leak. There was a couple of gondolas and shelving in the Friends bookstore that was fixed by our maintenance worker, Paul Jacobs, who has been wonderful in this whole repair process. So right now in the Friends bookstore, the carpet cleaning is the only portion remaining in that section, and that has been scheduled for Monday. So on Monday, once the carpet cleaning is done in the Friends bookstore, that area will be complete. In the computer lab on the second floor, we had a number of loose carpet squares. About half of the section, the carpet squares were loose. And unfortunately, the carpet layers said that the carpet squares could not be glued down because they didn't think it could stay down. And the type of carpet that was in the computer lab was discontinued 5 years ago. So we had approval from the insurance company to replace the whole carpet squares in the second floor computer lab. The carpet is on order. So once that carpet arrives, we will be replacing carpet in the computer center, in the computer lab. And then that section will be done as well. The expansion joints in the heating pipes on the ceiling where the leak occurred has been replaced. It was actually done today. And we also replaced the expansion joints in 2 of the other areas where there was the similar type of joints in the pipes to make sure that this did not happen in those 2 other areas as well. So once that is the carpeting is done and that shampooing is done, we should be done with this leak mitigation. Does anyone have any questions on this?
No, I'm just wondering what else is going to fall apart.
Hopefully nothing else, Antonia. Oh, we have a new building.
and Antonia, that's a great point, because Perna has been working with the city has a new facilities manager, and talking about how we are going to keep working on this existing building for some of the issues that we have in it. And so, I don't know, Perna, do you want to give a brief update on that?
Sure. So one of the things that we are working on with Scott Ramsey, who is the city's facilities manager, is trying to get updated numbers for some of our deferred maintenance, and that includes the roof, some of the envelope issues that we have around the building, and we have a meeting tomorrow with a roofing contractor to get some updated estimates. And I'm hoping actually if we can have Scott attend a future meeting so he can talk about the city steam line that they're working on to replace the county, because I think sometime this year we will be going off the county's steam line. So the city is working on that as well for the city buildings that are currently on the county steam line. So I think it'd be good, Audrey, to have Scott perhaps attend a meeting and then go through some of that project as well. Because I just got a little bit of that information, but it kind of involves having cooling and heating, and my understanding is that that'll be redundancy as well, which is great because right now we don't have that redundancy built in.
Any questions for Perna and Audrey on this? All right, thank you. We can move on to the social equity communications update.
So we so appreciate the board conversation at last month's meeting, and Karen, do you want to talk about this? Yeah, please. Yeah, I just think, we're balancing, where we're at and how we do that within the city framework. So I think it's good for all of us, to have that clarity across the whole organization. And plans, the city will have a plan, and then we'll have our sub plan underneath that. And I think, I think that's good. But it's not without its challenges. Is that fair?
Yeah. All right, are there any questions on the social equity communications plan? Okay, then we can proceed to sharing strengths.
And I don't have anything additional to add.
All right, any questions then before we adjourn? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned, and thank you everyone so much for your time.
You have a good night, everybody.
Good
Thanks,
night.
everybody.